All right. Hello everyone. So here we are. I have watched some of my recent streams and I've realized that I need to turn down my in-game volume just a little bit so that we can hear a bit of the commentary and not get completely overrun by the in-game sound. So we'll go ahead and do that. Alright. So we're at basically the beginning of Act 2, and
Take this!
yesterday we had a big L. Playing the sorceress, I was having a bit of a blast, just running around with Spark, killing everything. I think where the problem started was we were building into Mind Over Matter and Eldritch Battery, but I do recall when switching to Archmage, you know, everything costs 5% extra mana, which is quite a lot, and then converting your energy shield to mana, I realized it doesn't convert your entire pool of energy shield, it only converts the amount that your armor gives you. So all of these ES nodes that I had spec'd into, they weren't boosting my total mana pool with the Eldritch Battery conversion, which I thought would be, I guess it would have been really OP if that was the case, because in all honesty, I would have had 5.5k mana. I would have been doing a lot of damage. But oh, that is nice. That is a nice find. Anyway, so we got a little bit more mana. We were doing a little bit more damage, which I think was kind of necessary because we were just clearing maps very slowly, which I don't really have a problem with. At the beginning of maps with no Atlas points, I think the aim is just to complete them and make the progress to get the Atlas points and start getting a little bit more benefit out of the maps that you are running. Especially on hardcore, I think there's no rush. You definitely don't want to rip and be going through the campaign again, because that's, let's just say, at minimum 20 hours of a grind to get through the campaign. So I think in hindsight, I probably should have taken a moment to reconsider whether I wanted to make that change. Now, just in terms of numbers, I think before I changed to Eldritch Battery and Mind Over Matter, I had effective health pool of roughly 5k. I think I had over 1000 HP, and I had about 3.4k energy shield roughly. So that health pool was pretty nice. Okay, that was
Stay light, stay alive.
pretty close. Now that gave me a lot of survivability against most things, even elites. I could generally evade their attacks. I didn't want to sit there and face tank elites, but it gave me enough leeway so that I could kill everything around it and then fight it one-on-one, and usually just rotate around the elite in a circle and avoid most of the attacks. But if they had some AoEs like the lightning bolts just then, I had more than enough HP to deal with them. We did get clipped by one of those hyenas that had 6 modifiers, 2 essence mods, which were just the most OP ones that you can get, other than there's one where it brings out these chaos plants and they just slam down right in the middle. That's pretty OP, but it was the two, probably the ones I've experienced that are the most OP. It had mana bubble, and it had the other ones weren't too bad, but just those 3 in combination, it was just a really bad time. And yeah, we managed to TP out, but we managed to TP out, but that just was in vain, as we decided to go back and fight the hyena again. I don't know why. I think probably I didn't want to fail the map, but yeah, maybe I should have just given up on that one, because that was probably not worth it. I don't think I was strong enough to fight that. I don't know if maybe I could have done it with my previous build, but it's in the past now, and we're on a new journey, and I guess the focus here is just to level up. I may as well, while I'm here, try and take a low level skill gem of, we got 4, that might be enough. Orb of Storms, already have this equipped. Okay, what's going on here? 34 int, we have 27. Right. So we must have had a piece of gear before that gave us some intelligence, and then we've swapped it out. We've swapped it out without realizing. So just I thought I'd go over this real briefly. I know not everyone's gonna have this many stash tabs. I've probably spent too much money on this game, but I'd say my organization on my first league was probably really bad, and so whenever I started running out of storage space, I'd just buy another bunch of tabs. And then I also had the problem of filling quad tabs with gear that seemed good enough to sell, but no one was really buying it. And I think I was probably just a little bit late in the league to be doing that. Like most people were already had better gear than what I was offering, and so that barely anything was selling. Like occasionally I would sell to people that were like leveling a new character or something like that. But we are playing hardcore solo self-found at the moment, so we don't need to worry about any of this trading stuff. And the reason I have so much of this like random gear for different classes is basically so that I can get a better start. If I do die, I can make a new character, and I already have here like a nice wand, so if I want to go a sorceress again, I can already just equip this wand from level 3 and have +1 lightning, a little bit more spell damage, a couple of mana rings for the sorceress, a little bit of mana regen, so I can get quite a nice start from the beginning. Same with the ranger, I got a couple of things, and it's not too hard to find a decent bow to use for a ranger, but the stuff is here, and yeah. So then I've used a couple of other tabs, so we got one for levels 10 to 20, and there's a little bit less stuff in here, but it could come in handy. We'll see. So I just want to do a little bit of a gear evaluation now and just see what I'm running with. Okay, so this amulet is allowing us to wear these boots, as we need 20 strength for that, and I might actually switch out and try and wear these boots, the int boots, at some stage, but the armor is probably giving us some benefit at this stage. I mean, I noticed I wasn't taking much damage from those 2 elites that we fought in the caverns. Oh. We could run this amulet as well. Oh, hang on. So we got a couple of bows here that we could actually use at a later date when we hit level 20. They're not amazing, but they can be okay. The one I'm using, I guess, is alright for now, so I'll just check the vendor and see if
browse as long as you like.
they have any upgrades. Nothing too great. I really don't like the look of these bows. Like, even if I find an upgrade, I think just for the aesthetics I might stick to what I have. Ideally though, the weapon that I do want to use is going to be either the composite bow or preferably a dual string bow, but I don't think those are available until you get to Act 3, so we'll just we'll wait until then. And the question I really want to ask myself now is, I've got multiple pieces of gear here with only 2 mods on them, such as the amulet, the helmet, the weapon, the gloves. Am I struggling enough to justify using some regals on those things? And I think the answer is probably no. I'm pretty happy to just continue on with how we're going. We have no resistance, which is probably pretty bad. Okay, let me just... We haven't really got much in the way of evasion gear for our levels, so... Life and cold resist, just an energy shield base. Might not be a bad idea to regal the helmet. Cold resist. Okay, well, that's going to be good enough for me. Let's see what she's got for sale. Nothing too exciting. If there's a +1 in spells, I'll buy that for another character of the focus. So my approach with it just leveling in the campaign is levels come frequently, and when you level up, the vendors will change their inventory, and they can drop gear that's around about the level of the content that you're doing. So it's not going to be really any different. Sometimes it can be better than what you find on the ground. Oftentimes it'll be a lot worse. So I think it just comes from the same. It comes from the same pool of loot, and it's a matter of luck whether you get something good or not. Okay, ruby ring. That's a good start. I don't want to go back right now, but it might be worth throwing on a maybe an alchemy orb on that just at this stage. I think because I have enough rings, probably. Maybe I'll save the alchemy orb. I really don't like spending currency at this stage of the game because it's, you know, with a you know, semi-decent gear, the campaign's not too much of a struggle, and it's usually better saved for a later stage. You'll find that you'll acquire upgrades and new gear quicker than what you can find the necessary orbs and currency to actually upgrade them. And there's nothing worse than needing to upgrade, say, add 2 sockets to a new chest piece, and then you need to add 2 runes to it to make it a definitive upgrade, but you don't have them, so you just kind of like, well, do I just use the one that I already had that was from Act 2, and you're sitting at, you know, Cruel Act 1. You probably should find something before then, but just for an example, I'd rather have the stuff when I need it than just use it to be like more like clearing the content easier than what I am now. I'm not really having any issue with it. It seems to be going good. So I'll just show you my passive tree, and it's not this is not revolutionary. I think I have seen a build by I think it's Crouching Tuner. He goes from a similar starting position as me, and he makes his way over to here to get the bonus from the quiver. I think he comes down here and grabs some ones here for increases and reductions to arrow speed. Is it? Projectile speed applied to damage with bows. So he grabs those. I think he might grab a few down here. Magnitude of shock. Okay, that might be worth getting. But the interesting part about his build is that he goes with a double herald setup. He does come over this side of the tree and grab, you know, a little bit of ES, a little bit of evasion, but by branching out this way, it allows him to get Essence of the Mountain, which is gain 5% of damage as extra cold damage. And if you want, you can grab 5% of damage as extra lightning damage. I think me, at this point, I'm not really doing enough damage to get too much out of gain 5% damage as extra cold damage.
Fury!
And I also don't have a herald setup. I went with Wind Dancer on my first choice for a passive, and I think I could have gone with Herald of Thunder, I could have gone with Herald of Ice. I've done both before, and you know, they both work, they're kind of cool, but I thought in the spirit of playing hardcore, I might try and do whatever options seem to be the most defensive orientated. So, you know, why not? I can't remember when exactly you get. Oh, so it must be in Act. Yeah, that's right. In Act 3, you get another 30 spirit. So I can pick up probably a Herald at that stage. And then on Cruel Act 3, I'll pick up 100 total spirit, and then I can get. I can run double Herald, I believe. There will be a heavy in requirement to run a Herald of Ice of a high enough skill gem, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So I probably want to go Herald of Ice first and run, because we will have a. Oops, I nearly ripped. We will have a limited amount of spirit gems, or at least low level ones. Haven't run through the campaign multiple times and not used the ones that I found, so we want to use a low level one for the Herald of Ice at this stage. Excuse me, just making some coffee.
Fury!
So these wax jackets are pretty good base items for an evasion energy shield combo. Okay.
Quick and lethal.
Yeah, so as soon as you see that mana bubble, I realized I was not running. Okay, we're back where we started, so I'm gonna go. All the stuff from the map has disappeared after I've teleported out. So I think we started around the bottom middle. And there's no like waypoint or teleport or anything, but I think a good method for the campaign is not to rush through. Although we will soon be a little bit more over leveled than I'd like to be if we get another level. Usually I like to stay within one level of the area that I'm doing. I don't want to be 2 or more levels over. And I know it might be counterintuitive. You might want to be a little bit stronger, but you get such a lower frequency of valuable drops when you play like that. Like if you go back and farm and grind and over level. It even same goes with full clearing. Like the first time I played the campaign, I think I full cleared every zone. There were probably a couple of times I died where I cleared 75% of a zone and then died and had to clear it again. So
Don't mind if I do.
I was getting a lot more XP out of the zone than what would be done on a hardcore playthrough if you did it once. But yeah, massively over leveled. I think I got to the end game with maybe like less than 20, like just over 10 exalts. But I'd only been saving them from the beginning of Cruel to the end of Cruel, and being multiple levels over, just didn't pick up many at all. So sometimes I wonder if characters have like an inherent luck stat built into them, because on my ranger I've found a lot of loot in Act 1 even, just junk. And even now I found, just in this one area alone, I found 2 exalteds, which is like very, very unheard of. But you know, these things can happen. Anyway, we kind of got a lock in for this one.
Iron, flesh and bone. What is the difference? Face of Baradun, mind of a traitor. The serpent's tongue.
She's insane!
Insane? Perhaps that is true. Burn, burn, burn!
Run!
Die, die, die!
Oh my god, she's got a big hitbox.
Slow down! Burn, burn, burn!
Okay, that's a bit obnoxious.
Explode! Burn, burn, burn!
Watch out!
Oh,
Thunderous
not this
shot!
shit again.
Die, die, die!
We got it.
Quickly, break the lock.
Oh damn. I was hoping that was a
Winds praise you.
white azure amulet. They make a good chancing base for a the everlasting gaze azure
Best you
amulet.
start talking.
Really OP item for sorceress. I don't think it's the best in the slot, but it's really OP. You can go mind over matter and eldritch battery and still have a huge energy shield, because the gain energy shield is separate from the eldritch battery calculation. I thought it was a bug, but it seems to be pretty fair. Okay, so we'll just dump a bunch of stuff. I don't need things for the wands.
Young one.
Stun threshold. Yeah.
Do not wonder.
Okay, so I guess the question is, do we want to... These 2 rings are almost the same. Yeah, the question is, do we want to use an alchemy orb on this firing? And I think not. We'll just see if the first roll is good. Mana regen, it's not good for our character at all. And I think we also have one that's like rolled similar to that, so... Where is it? Probably... Yeah, mana regen, fire damage, like... Yeah, pretty bad. But we will definitely I'll definitely put some yeah, I don't think I'm going to continue further with these. Like, they are good. Well, they're not terrible, but they're not good either. It's just, I don't know what I was expecting.
Speak up.
I just don't want to spend the regals on continuing to see more lines. Like, we found this piece of gear from, I think it was Geonor. It's giving us enough at the moment. It has only 4 lines on it, which is tier 1, tier 1, tier 3, tier 2. I know PoE 1 players will cringe at that because tier 1's usually the highest, but I never played PoE 1, so bigger number, bigger roll is how I see it. Okay, so we got new area. We do have the gamble vendor available to us as well, and the vendors have new stuff in the shop.
Stay in sight.
Who goes there? My wares are renowned.
So I might try to find some boots that are either evasion energy shield or just evasion with 15 move speed, 15% move speed, but the vendor doesn't have anything for us at this stage. What about chest pieces? Nothing much.
Sans guides you.
I think this is a really nice find for a piece of leveling gear. I only need to be level 16 for this, so if I'm playing a sorceress, I can have a +1 of spell skills immediately into Act 2, which is huge, because +1 on the wand, +1 on the focus, and then I've got this helmet here, which it gives +1 to all skills as well. So we basically get +3, and there is an amulet actually. I don't know where I've put it. I probably put it in here. +1 projectile skills on that. So, oh, actually, I could probably use something different. No, they're all pretty bad. Yeah. All right. So that's a nice find. That's a little bit of progress. Not necessarily on the ranger, but just in terms of the, the stash. Bit of progress in the stash.
An outcast's trove.
Could gamble for a belt. Or a bow even. But I'm gonna hold off on that. Well, I think I'm going to end it here, and we will continue on with another episode. Maybe not in the next area, but once I've made a little bit of progress, maybe once we get to the Dreadnought, or a little bit later in Act 2. And yeah, you can follow on from there. See ya.